What's happening, good people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Long time no see, right? It's been a very long time since I've done a pregame or a preview. You know, I never know when I can get to these, so I'm happy and that I'm able to do one tonight. Very brief, and I mean that. These shows are always quick, not a whole lot, for me to chime in on. I'll just talk a little bit about the injury report and what I expect the Steelers will need to do if they're going to somehow magically win the game. I'll kind of give my quick thoughts on that, and then we'll be out of here. So first and foremost, let's just say hello to the early commenters. Not a whole lot of you guys here tonight. Of course, like I said, a lot of people don't expect the preview, so, I don't expect a huge crowd. But I thank all of you all who are already here. I thank all of you all who will be coming in later. And I also thank everyone who will see this on the replay. Hello, thank you, and welcome. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers. Well, actually, let's get into the comments real quick. Only a few. Yak TV, Lance the Shield, Mark Malone, Rajon 39, Steeler Lee, the infamous Tim. Hello, the real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. Appreciate you joining in. Always got to say hello and welcome to our our lovely commenters. I know. My bad, Kenya. USC. I won't be long, man. And honestly, man, you could watch the game and catch me on the rebound. But, I just shot it to you so you and Tony knew I was on. In case you guys didn't know that, Kenyon is a huge USC fan. Actually, as I say that, let me check the score. Kenyon just texted me saying that he's seeing plays from USC he's not accustomed to seeing. Sounds like he is happy and satisfied with what his boys are doing. Oh, man, Florida State is 24-14. It was 14-14, so my nose is not looking too good against Clemson. Where's the score? USC 21-14, okay, against Utah, heading into halftime. So, 28-14 with about a minute and 15 seconds left. So I caught Kenyon at the right time, right? He could check in with me, and I promise you, I will probably be done before halftime is over. So that's how fast it's going to be. Why Diggy in the building? Vista Light, Cutboy, 412, Steelers card. Who else? Liberty. Let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk about our Pittsburgh Steelers really quick. They're in a tough spot. Sitting at 1-4. If they lose tomorrow, and let's say they lose next week, because I believe we got the Dolphins next week, then we got Philly. This could be a very ugly season, and it is what it is at this point. At this point, like I said, unless the Steelers have some drastic turnaround, I don't expect much. I'm just interested in seeing Kenny Pickett, see how he handles these situations, see his maturation, if you will. And that's what I'm looking for. Some of the younger players, George Pickens, guys like that, some of the younger defenders, just looking at some of these guys who are going to be on the team the next 2 to 3 years and see how they perform. That's really what I'm looking for this season. With that being said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You saw it. You saw it in the title. You saw what I said there. You saw the thumbnail. Terrell Edmunds is in the thumbnail, and the reason why is because Terrell Edmunds is going to be the key, the cog, the veteran of the group in that secondary. Let's talk about it, shall we? As of right now, what we know to be true is the Pittsburgh Steelers will be without. Hold on, give me a second. I just had it up. They will be without game status. Cam Sutton out of the lineup. Akello Witherspoon out of the lineup. Levi Wallace out of the lineup. Minka Fitzpatrick out of the lineup. DeMarvin Leal out of the lineup. And not only is Leal out of the lineup, I just saw that Leal has been placed on IR. And Pat Fryermuth out of the lineup. So all of this is going to lead into what I feel are the keys to victory to this game. If there's possibly going to be a victory, I will give you those. Then I'll come to the chat and just see what you guys got. Let's talk about who Tampa Bay is going to be without. The Buccaneers will be without, where is it? Let me get to it. I just saw it. Hold on. Akeem Hicks is out with a foot. Julio Jones is doubtful, a knee. Sean Murphy-Bunting is out with a quad, and safety Logan Ryan is out with a foot. So Steelers are getting a little bit of help in terms of the injuries that the Buccaneers have, but still the Buccaneers have quite a complement of players. They still got Godwin and others at the receiver position. They still got Leonard Fournette running that rock, and they still have Tom Brady. All right, and regardless of what you feel about Tom Brady is still Tom Brady, facing off against secondary and the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers that's ranked pretty much in the bottom. Let's take a look really quick. Excuse me. I'll tell you right now. And I'm just going to do yards. When I'm looking at where the defenses are ranked. I'm not looking at the overall, but just in yards, the Pittsburgh Steelers are currently 30th against the pass. 30th against the pass in terms of yards given up. Let's look at another interesting stat. Let's see. Let's do touchdowns. See where we are. Wow. Pittsburgh Steelers are 29th. We've given up 11 passing touchdowns. Just for fun, let's do completions. Let's see. The Steelers are still near the bottom. Let me count from the bottom up. 32, 1, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23rd. We're 23rd with completions. But again, yards given up, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 30th. They're tied with the Titans. And yeah, it's just not going to look good. And again, against the rush, where are we against the rush? Let's just do yards allowed. The Steelers are probably way down again. Let's see, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're 22nd. 22nd. Let's do yards per carry. Where are we yards per carry? Okay. The Steelers aren't horrible. We are giving up an average of 4.3, which has us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so not horrible. But again, a lot of teams haven't had to run the ball on us so much because they've passed us. They've passed the ball all over the yard against us. And again, we are going into this game with no starting corners. None of them. 2 outside guys and your nickel and your all-pro safety. Wow. Which probably means that we're going to see a lot of Trey Norwood playing free because obviously if Terrell Edmonds is out there, he's going to be your strong. And he's going to have to be the leader. We're probably going to see some Josh Jackson out there. We're probably going to see James Pierre. We're going to see Arthur Marlette. I'm interested to see who is going to be. And, just for fun, let me take a look at our lineup just so I can remember who's out there, who's currently on the 53. Let's see if I can decipher who's more than likely going to be. Let's see. Who's going to be the outside corner? Along with Pierre. I think I'm missing somebody. So there's Jackson, there's Marlette, there's Pierre. Wow. I guess it's going to be Josh Jackson. I would assume, right? Because I would assume when we go nickel package, it's going to be Pierre and Jackson on the outside with Marlette. Let's pause for the donation, man. Round of applause to Liberty. He says, we are playing with a banged up team. Let the Rockies play. Rookies, I think he's trying to say. KZ, Mark, and whoever else we have that can lend a hand. I'm in agreement with that. Round of applause as well to Sean Manahan. Appreciate the donation. Sean, I'm going to assume that you don't know the situation in terms of my mom. You said your mom's is going to be outside. I'm going to assume that you don't know the situation with my mom. Let me just say this. The comment that you just made in person would get you punched in your face. It will get you punched in your mouth. So I'm going to assume that you don't know. And if you do know, this will be the last time you comment on this show. But I can promise you, if this was something that you said in person, it would get you punched right in your mouth. Period. So you keep your donation. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. Yeah, I don't even know where to go after that. I'm gonna laugh it off. I'm gonna take me a drink of water real quick. All right, whatever. So, yeah, cornerback position is gonna be quite crazy. The Steelers are gonna be faced with he said, I don't know your personal issue, just a joke. Yeah. But that's why I said I'm going to assume that you don't know, so it's all good. But this is going to be tough, bro. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. I encourage Steelers fans to watch this one with... you know what I mean? I encourage everybody to watch this one with just, let's see what happens. I mean, have stranger things happened? Sure they have. It's hard for me to sit there and say that the Steelers are going to go in there and get the victory. So let me tell you guys what they will have to do in order to secure victory. And then I'll come into the chat, chop it up with you guys for a few minutes, and then I'll be up out of here. Keys to victory for tomorrow. I mean, this is one that you can say every week in the NFL, particularly for the Steelers and particularly for this offense that the Steelers continues to put out there in order for it to work. The run game has to work. But if it has never been more important, this is the moment. The Steelers cannot win this game if they are unable to run the football. Period. Period. They cannot. They cannot. They cannot. They can't. It's just simple. If they can't run the football, they can't win. You can't win. Impossible. Because it's going to take ball control and it's going to take the Steelers sustaining drives. It's going to take the Steelers keeping them off balance where they can mix in run and pass where the play action will work. But Kenny Pickett will no longer have Pat Fryermuth. So he doesn't even have the safety net in the middle. He don't even have Muth. Of course, we got Pickens, Deontay, and Claypool, but one of those got Claypool or Pickens, and I'm not even going to get on Pickens because Pickens has done his job. But Claypool going to have to step up. Because Kenny Pickett has definitely gone to Fryermuth quite often. He spreads the ball around, but he's hit Fryermuth in times when he's needed to hit Muth. He's not playing. If we can't run the football, there's nothing that we can do to win this game. Some people might say, oh, well, defensively, we could. We don't even have the guys out there that can turn the ball over. None of the guys who have had an interception for us this season is playing. Let that ring. Let that sit for a minute. Or like Country Wayne would say, let that sizzle in your spirit. Nobody who has had an interception, which I think TJ got one, but TJ's not playing either. No one who has intercepted a football, if my memory serves me correct, this season will be playing on Sunday. No Minka, no Cam, no Akello, and no Levi Wallace. Wow. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's it. If we can't run the football, we're not going to win this game. But I would encourage you guys as Steelers fans to, yeah, man, take this one on the chin, bro. Take this one on the chin. Don't be so overly critical about the team and their performance. Let's grade them, of course. I mean, again, they say the next man up, right? They say the standard is the standard, but that sometimes, I know you can't make no excuses, but sometimes an excuse is allowable. Come on, man. The whole starting secondary is out. A security blanket on offense is out. An emerging young rookie that was playing well defensively, helping with the pass rush and the run game is out. And I feel bad about Leal, man, being on IR. That hurts. That hurts. Because this kid was emerging. He was emerging. Now, we're probably going to see Loudermilk. So I will say this, and then I'm going to come to the chat. For the young guys, this is your time to shine, man. The Josh Jacksons of the world, all of these new pieces, and Duke Dawson or whoever that is, I don't know who's playing. We're going to see who's active. Ryan Anderson, all of these people. This is your time to shine. To make some splash, make some plays. And Miles Jack, I need you to put the defense on your back. Devin Bush, I need you to step up. Highsmith, I need you to get out there and eat a little bit too. Help Cam out. It's going to be a tough one, guys. So that's all I got. Yeah, Leal did look good, Mark. You're absolutely correct. He's been looking good out there, man. So that hurts my heart that, he goes down. But it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to enjoy watching it. So that's about all I got, man. I'm just going to judge it, look at Kenny. Hopefully Kenny plays a clean game, and hopefully at the end of the game we're saying, how well he played, or who knows. If a miracle happens and we win the game, even better. But that's about it. That's about all I got. So I'll spend some time with you guys, man, just a few minutes. Let's see what y'all got. Vista Light says, who's going to cover safety? It's probably going to be Norwood. Trey Norwood, I'm sure, is going to be the free. And with Edmonds back, he's going to be free. Edmonds is going to play his spot, and it is going to be interesting to see what we do in dime. I did see somebody throwing some scenarios on Twitter saying it would be interesting to see if the Steelers, given this somewhat depth that they have on D-line, will they consider going with four-man fronts. You might see that. Let me tell you guys, too, as far as where the numbers come in for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Again, I just did this on yards. I didn't do overall, but I did yards. They are 6th against the pass, okay? So that might be a little tough for us right there, but they're 17th against the run. So that's another reason why I said, our best chance is going to be trying to run the football. And we'll see what happens. Still a card says, I better not see 2 straight runs when we are down by 20 plus. Absolutely agree with that. Betsberg says, I'm just excited to see what Kenny Pickett can do at this point. Facts. That's why I'm at with it as well. Joel Jamie says, the Pens had like 4 top 2 picks in 2000s. It's fine to stink for a year or 3. Yeah. Again, we all get caught up in the Steeler way, right? The Steelers are a winning organization. I get it. I love it too. And a lot of people get caught up in the fact that Tomlin has never had a losing season. Okay, I get it. But just the same reason why it's not that realistic and people can't believe how long it's gone without a losing season, it's unrealistic to think that a losing season isn't going to happen at some time in a coach's tenure. So It's not impossible that this could be the one. It's not, unimaginable that when your franchise, a guy that was a cog in your franchise retires and you're trying to rebuild everything with a rookie draft pick, a veteran backup and another veteran backup. Your offensive line is still in shambles. And honestly, I would personally say as well, somebody mentioned this to me last week and I agree, the organization hasn't done a great job. They haven't done a great job with preparing for this. Properly building the offensive line and waiting. Properly having Ben Roethlisberger's, backup. They swung for the fence. They took Mason Rudolph. Excuse me, when they could. That didn't necessarily work out. It's a lot of things, not being able to build a real cornerback. It's a lot of reasons why they are where they are. And you got to put that on the organization. You got to put that on Kevin Colbert. You got to put that on Mike Tomlin. It's the facts. The way they've chosen to go about their business has put them in this situation. That it just is what it is. Jonathan Harvey says Tampa Bay might score 3 defensive touchdowns and 3 offensive touchdowns for Brady. Pittsburgh may just get 9 points. Yeah, it could be one of those games, man. I won't deny that. We got another donation from Liberty Library. I kept saying Liberty. Let me open my eyes. Thank you, Liberty Library. Appreciate that. Who's that? MD, the detailer says, Bush step up, ? He's pathetic. Waste of a draft pick. Send him packing. Yeah, listen, Bush had a raw deal of it. The kid just lost his confidence after that injury. That just is what it is. I won't go so far to say that. I'm very careful when I say a draft pick was a waste, right? Because nobody knows that until the draft pick becomes a waste. Sometimes you could tell guys aren't good. Even as fans, we can look and say, I don't think this guy's going to work out or that guy's going to work out. But nobody knows that. You know what I'm saying? That's what the draft is all about. You're taking chances. Devin Bush and Devin White were the premier inside linebackers in that season, in that offseason. And it just is what it is. The Steelers desperately needed an inside backer. They were desperate, since the unfortunate injury to Ryan Shazier, to find another guy that could be a playmaker there. Bush and White were the best two, probably, looking at their college stats. We see that Devin White has panned out. And Devin Bush, like I said, I don't think we could say, honestly, could we say that he was a waste of a pick after his rookie season? I couldn't. Or even starting that second season before he got hurt, I couldn't say that then. Clearly something has happened to him since the injury. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just saying that's what happened. So like I said, just me personally, I'm just a little careful before I say a draft pick is a waste, because nobody knows until they pick him. There's some people who said Kenny Pickett was a wasted pick. Some people who be in this show all the time in the comments. But now that Kenny is playing good, I ain't seeing so much of that. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll see. Liberty Library, another round of applause for the second donation, third of the night, I believe. He says, is KZ active? That I'm not sure about. Maybe somebody in the comments can let me know. I know KZ came off of, I think whatever the suspension was he was dealing with, and I think he's, as far as injury related, I think he's healthy too. Not 100% sure, but Rajon said he's still hurt. Okay, yeah, see, I wasn't sure about that. Still a card says we gave up 2 picks to go get Bush. Yeah, listen, I get it, guys. I get it. I feel what y'all saying. But again, I'm just trying to give you a peek into how I think. You can say that about a lot of picks. None of them are sure shots. They're just not. Y'all want me to give you a perfect example that fits the Pittsburgh Steelers? TJ Watt. You guys remember that TJ Watt was the last pass rusher in that class that anybody was really considering? He was the project. And look what happened with that. Boom. You understand what I'm saying, guys? So again, that's just how I think you know, unless I felt like that before we drafted a person, I did not feel it that way about Devin Bush at that time. I didn't feel that, you know, it was a waste to go get him. I didn't. So if I feel that way before the draft, and if you did, if some of you guys did, I respect it. But I didn't feel that way about that particular player. So it's hard for me to say it was a waste. You know, it just, you know, it happens. Ollie Howard says, I lost trust in Bush after I saw his draft night outfit. Yeah, man, that outfit was a little crazy. Stone and Confused the News says, Bush be looking lost. Yeah, he just don't look like himself no more, man. He just don't. You know, and he definitely, like Steelers Cards just said, you would have thought he was going to be a stud, man. You know, he's a tad bit undersized for the position. But judging by his college tape, I just did not think that he would be where he is now. And again, I know the injury factors into that, but again, we saw that video before the season, him doing all that moving around and shifting. Clearly, there's no physical issue. So the way you're playing now is just who you are. And I will say this, Devin Bush has played better than last season, but that bar was extremely low. And he still has had some moments this year that we're like, huh? Like that blitz on Josh Allen. Yeah, it just hasn't been great. I'm going to read a few more and then I'm going to get out of here. Railfax says, did Ben keep this team afloat over the last 2 years? I mean, it's seemingly the same roster, but somehow we're worse. I don't know about that, Rail, because let me tell you why. Respectfully, we were producing about the same amount of points with Ben the last year or two. Remember, our offense couldn't get going. That was our problem. Maybe our defense was in better position. You know, maybe it was the schedule. I don't know. But honestly, for the last 2 years, I can't say that Ben's play was so great that it kept us afloat. No, I can't say that. Because, again, our run game hasn't been there. We couldn't put up points no more within the last year or two with Ben. We were still going 3 and out at times. We were still taking these super deep shots. You know, Ben couldn't throw it deep last year. So, you know, as much as I love Ben, it's tough for me to say that. My man, Sky4U, that's my guy right there. What up, 7-5? He says he lost his confidence. That's it, man. You know, again, this is a guy, my man, you know, I'm not putting all this business out there, but this is a guy who's played pro football. He knows what he's talking about. You know, you just don't go from what we saw in his rookie year, what we saw in college, and we saw him trending up. You just don't go from that to being what you are now. That's a confidence thing, man. And I seriously think that injury affected his confidence to a degree. Is it an excuse? No. It's the NFL. You got to bounce back after being injured. That's just the business you're in. But I think that's really what the situation is. Another round of applause to my man, Liberty Library. Y'all said Lyman Swede and Jarvis Jones. Yeah, those dudes, yeah, they didn't pan out. My man said, what do you think about Sims, a mini AV? It looks like AV out there. I can honestly say, just me personally, I haven't seen enough from him. I mean, I've seen a couple things here and there in preseason, but I haven't seen enough to assess his entire wide receiver capability to make that call. But I understand what you're saying. He does kind of look like him on field. And honestly, man, I can't say I remember what I thought about Lyman Swede when he came out, but yeah, that clearly turned into a bust because that boy couldn't catch a cold. Jarvis Jones, I can honestly say that too. I think the Steelers were reaching. They got caught in the productivity, and you know, you've heard Tomlin and Colbert say that productivity is attractive. You remember one time Jarvis Jones was leading the league, leading the NCAA in sacks. But to me, he just never, even his stature, his size, he never looked like he was going to be an edge rusher in the Steelers, you know, in that Dick LeBeau defense. So that's a guy right there I could say I felt like the Steelers reached. But I cannot say that about Devin Bush. So But all right, man. Maybe a couple more, maybe one or two more, and we out of here. Why Diggy says this season is to see what we got and build from there. The Steelers need to change some philosophies a little bit. We'll see what Omar Khan is about this draft. Absolutely agree with that. We'll see what the changing of the guard is. Yeah, and I do remember that they said Jarvis Jones tested terrible. Yeah, I remember that, man. I do remember that. That was one of the times I felt like we reached. Oh, I'll give you another one. Artie Burns. No disrespect to Artie, but I didn't feel like Artie Burns was the guy. I didn't feel like he was a first round corner. And it seemed like the Steelers do that quite often, right? You know, they always would tell us, right? Colbert would always tell us, listen, we're going best available. They would always say that, right? Remember Colbert was always saying, oh, we don't necessarily draft for need, you know, maybe sometimes if there is a need. But it definitely seemed like they forced that pick with Artie Burns. And the story comes out that they were high on William Jackson. And they reached. Nothing about Artie Burns' tape told me first round corner. However, he had like 7 interceptions though. Productivity. But sometimes, again, you have to look at the quality of the interception or even like sacks, the quality of sacks. You know, did they really beat their man or were they just in the right place at the right time? You know, how did he do when he didn't get interceptions? Did he give up this amount? You know, but Artie Burns was attractive, I think, because, you know, what's crazy is they said he's long, he's lean, he's a press corner. And you know the funny thing? We saw Artie Burns most of the time in cover 3. Most of the time when Artie Burns actually was able to play man and play press man, didn't do too bad. Y'all remember that? Like the real fans who really watched the game, y'all would probably agree with me on that, right? Remember some of those times when we would run man and let Artie press? Didn't play horrible. I'm not saying he was great, but he didn't play half bad. But for whatever reason, that's when we were so cover 3 heavy. We would keep Artie Burns in cover 3, and what would he do all the time? Get caught peeking in the backfield, and the ball goes right over his head. Not even playing him in his strong suit. It kind of reminds me of when the Raiders, when Nnamdi left the Raiders and went to the Eagles. Remember, the Eagles was just playing zone, and everybody was like, "Wow, this dude is a man corner. Why won't you guys?" I don't know, man. Sometimes it's strange. Sometimes it's strange how the NFL, you know, coaches, you know, again, like I said, I sit over here. I'm not an NFL coach, scout, player, but some of this stuff to me, we all can see it. Just like today. Earlier today, man, friends of ours, you know, their son plays at a JUCO, right? And he played right out here where I live, man. I live near Lancaster, PA. They played a school in Lancaster. His school is from Ohio. And we went to the game. And it was just a defensive game the entire game. Both offenses, 3 and out. By the second quarter, right, their opponent, all they was running was cover 0. Because the offense was so basic. All they was doing was, you know, read option left, read option right, hand off up the middle left, hand off right, and then on third down, they try to pass, and they pass outside the numbers. It was so predictable. So I'm literally, my wife could come down here and tell you, yeah, he's telling the truth. I'm in the stands like, Coach, there's no safeties in the middle of the field. I mean, the opponent's defense was coming out every time, straight up 0 coverage, and nobody in the middle. I'm like, there are no safeties. Slant, skinny post, screaming it. Finally, with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, guess what they run? A slant against that. Dude houses it 60 yards. And it's funny because, again, I don't know everything. I don't. But it's so funny because people in the audience turned and looked at me and was like, even the opposing team was like, yeah, you've been saying it all game. I'm like, it's been there all game. And it's like, how do we see this? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, that was a cool moment. It was a cool moment. Oh, you say you like the Madden videos? Yeah, I try to make them entertaining, man. Just to give you guys something to look at, man. Just, it's for Steeler Nation. I don't get many views with those videos, but it's fun because Madden is not quite where I would want it to be. It's a shame that game is not the ultimate, simulation football experience in 2022. It's kind of sad. Has it gotten better? Yeah, but it's still just so bare bones, man. If that thing had the depth that it had back in the day, boy, what of experience I could give you guys, man. Just, it would be so much fun. But all right, man. Last one. I'm gonna read why digging and I'm gonna get out of here. He says, reminds me of my senior year and our team was running a basic offense and the other team was doing that. They just didn't adjust and lost 14-0. Yeah, man. I mean, guys, if y'all would have seen it, I wish I would have got it on film. It's so funny. As soon as they scored, everybody turned around and said, he's been saying it all game. Because I'm just passionate about football. And I'm like, yo, coach. Because, it's a JUCO, small school. So, I mean, we literally sitting right there. Like the school that they played at, it was only one set of bleachers, right? And, the concession stand is on the opposite side. And we're on, the side of the our guys' team. And I'm like, look at the field. There are no safeties. It was almost like they had their safeties playing as linebackers. Like they were so close to the line. In the middle of the field is butt naked open. And I'm like, slant route, post route, skinny post. I mean, it's there. And their line was holding up. And their quarterback got a little gun on him. Big dude too, man. The dude kind of built like Willis or McNabb. Big guy, man. Big dude. He kind of. It's gonna be interesting, man, to see if any of those kids, end up going to other schools. Kind of like the Cam Newton route, because this dude had a little skill on him. Of course, sometimes at JUCOs it just is what it is, but then other times you have super talented guys out there. So we'll see. But yeah, it was just a funny moment. It was a funny moment. No, Rajan, I don't work for them. Long story short, they invited me to their game changer program back in 2012. Basically, I would go out to EA and, spend a week there, give them feedback on the game. A lot of times they'd fly me out there like January, February, test the game, tell them what's wrong with it, give my suggestions. And, over the years, I've gotten a lot of perks from it. I get Madden free every year. I've been out to LA at parties. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So shout outs to EA for that. But no, I'm never have been an employee. It's just have that affiliation with them. And, over the years, I've developed a friendship with a lot of the guys, the developers there. So that's my extent of the relationship. But yeah. But all right, I'm going to get out of here, man. That's all I got. I said I was keeping it short tonight. What did we hit? 39 minutes. Perfect. So that's all I got. Let's watch this game tomorrow with curiosity, and let's all watch to see how Kenny does. And again, if the Steelers if they somehow able to pull it out, it's gonna have to be that they were able to run the ball. They won the time of the possession. Alex Highsmith, because he's probably the only one who get any real pressure. And let's say Cam Hayward, Big Cam. The two of them got pressure because Brady, if you get pressure up the middle, so Cam might be significant, and that's going to be the story. If the Steelers are able to control time of possession, sustain drives, run the football, put up points, and then just hang in there defensively, that's the only possible way they're going to win this game. Because again, with not having any of your starting secondary, your up-and-coming rookie and Leal, and Freiermuth out, and of course TJ Watt, that spells ugly. So, but all right, man, before we go, boom, make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on those notifications. Outside of that, everybody have a great night. Enjoy the rest of football tonight for the college guys. I hope USC and Kenyon, I lied. I said I would be done before halftime. I'm sorry. But, yeah, enjoy the rest of football tonight, man. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after the game. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Good night. Peace.